Hello everyone, welcome to the Watch Poplars. Today, there are some trees that I don't want to completely repot them by doing root pruning because they're kind of weak, such as my pines. You can see they didn't grow this much last year, as much as they did in 2023. So I don't want to, and then I root pruned them at the beginning of 2024, so they're a bit slow, but they survived. I just still want to let them recover, and then maybe next spring, I will repot them again, but I don't want to make them grow even slower. But I will finally put my machete to use, because I don't want to damage any of my shears, and it's useful, I think, to just cut off the edges so that the roots don't keep circling around. And then by cutting off the root tips, I would encourage branching, so that I'm still doing some beneficial work. Now I already loosened this up. I'll do this operation with multiple plants in this video, and yeah. So there's the pot. So I'll just. There's a manzanita in here. I think I can leave it. I've never done this before. I'll put this on the tray. I don't want to scratch the metal. And I have soil right here, so I can just fill in the sides. I'll just cut it, shave off the edges. And the corners. This is a nice moss. It's not native, but there have been roots growing into it, I think. No? I don't know. I'll cut this off. And then the last side here. And then I think I should also do the bottom as well. I don't know. I planted these kind of deep. I'll just skim off the very, very surface, because I planted this one kind of deep, but I gotta shorten it a little bit. The root tips are inactive right now, in case you were wondering. Even though there's new growth coming in on the strongest one right here, it's still inactive. This thing is not very sharp, which is fine. I think that's the best I can do. I'll put it back in this container. And I will not disturb the roots, because I want a gray pine. For bonsai, they're native. They have a nice foliage color. They stay like this color. Even, this isn't just a juvenile foliage. And they get, I don't know, maybe, just maybe, I will get some cones on these. And that'll be kind of cool. They're big and spiky. And they're heavy. But in bonsai, everything is miniature, I guess. Well, aside from fruit. But cones, they are a fruit, but not true fruit. their life cycle of a cone is kind of like a fruit. But I think most conifers are gymnosperms, so they're not angiosperms, which is all the flowering plants. But I'll put a base layer of soil here. And I'll put this here. Now I'll just fill in and this is probably where I wish I had my chopsticks. Or I could just smack it in. And now that's actually kind of working. So I think I honestly think my box elder maples are done. Like I root pruned them again this year, and I really regret it. They are growing a lot less than they did last year, and you know and they broke dormancy 1 month later than they should. So I'll have to look around for a box elder maple tree and just happen to be there at the right time to collect seeds, or cuttings, because I'll have to start over again. There was a box elder maple at the Temescal Park, and so maybe I can go there again and get some cuttings, but I don't know. So, but I'll keep the first one just in case. If I don't repot it ever again, will it recover? And by that I mean that I will not repot it until I get some actual growth on it that extends. More than an inch. So if I get more than an inch of growth, then I will do a mild repot again, because I don't want to start the whole thing all over again where I don't get any growth. Because box elders are native, and I like them. They get nice fall colors. And the leaves are soft and fuzzy. So there's the gray pines. And I'll put that back. And now this Hinokifal cypress. I got this in 2023 in the spring. I have not ever repotted it, so I do think I can do a full repot of this. So I'll be back with the tools. And also I want to repot it now because you can see, I'm not sure if I've shown you this many times during the winter, but I must have. It was bronze. It was brown, it was bronze. Yeah. And so just like the eastern red cedar, this turns bronze and brown during winter, and then it greens up before it starts to grow, which it might be doing just now. There are some green tips on it, but the roots don't seem active. So I'll get out my tools and I'll give it its first root pruning, and I'll be very conservative when I do this, because I don't want any to die off. Okay, I have my tools. Okay. And so now if you get this first root pruning. Now here I have these is like, I don't know, the name of this is something in New Zealandic, because it's from New Zealand. I don't need this. There's a bunch of, I don't need it. It grows kind of vertical, straight trunk. I just planted a bunch of seeds. The seed pods look like Demogorgon mouths. They have like 3 parts, and then it's like this black sticky stuff in between. And then in the middle is this round thing. It has the seeds inside. So I don't know. I'll just begin coming out. And I'll save the moss because there's not that many weeds that are just completely out of hand. Now there is some mold or fungus growing in here, so it might be a bit too moist for this conifer. I don't know if this is a conifer that can tolerate such moist soil, but it's that black slimy mold, I think. I don't know if it's a slime mold. And there's this. Oh God. So there's just these. They're blooming right now, and they have like pink flowers. They can be white, and it's an inflorescence, just a mass of flowers on a stalk. And they're really nice. But I forgot the common name and scientific name. I don't think I ever knew the scientific name. This just adds to the chaos in my collection. And then there was also a vetch in here. A legume. That's died. I think it's an annual vine. Maybe I should move you over here. I hope this works. It doesn't fall off. Okay, that's, yeah. The phone is sideways. And the screen is facing down because I had it reversed. I don't want this drying out though. This was in, it said this was bonsai soil, but it's just pieces of wood. It's just powdered wood and bark flakes. Doesn't seem like bonsai soil. And I don't know why it said bonsai soil. I haven't finished using the bag. And the last time I did use the bag was, the last and only time I used that bag was repotting this in 2023. I'll bare root this one. So far I see some decent surface roots, so that I won't have to do any big cuts, but I have some roots to keep. Like, this soil was entirely organic material. It's bark flakes. I don't know, from some kind of conifer. I'll let you know when I am done with the combing out. So I've pretty much finished combing it out, and I think I should fill up a pot of water and rinse off the soil. Well, I don't know. Maybe It's hard to say. It's, I mean, if I want to use my scissors, yeah, I should rinse off the roots. But maybe I could just comb off all the soil from the roots. I mean, there are some crooked roots in here that I probably should be able, I should see, so I'll pause it. I dipped it in the bird bath. So now I can root prune it. I press the blades together so that it kind of cuts. I'm flattening it at the base. I think I might have done some root pruning to this in 2023. There's still some soil in here. You can get it out. I don't want this to take the whole video. Okay, I've finished root pruning it. And yeah. I think my next video, well, I want to collect my ash this year. I mean, I believe I can do it without damaging the ash during this time. It's just the more I wait, the riskier it gets. I will not have to, I cannot just pull it out and bare root it at this time of year. I'll have to just cut out a section of soil that it is growing in and pot it up. And on to the next one. So here I have my red oaks. Well, last year I repotted them and I did it a bit too much of a root pruning, and the oak seedling got a bit weak. So now I'm just gonna do a very, very mild root pruning. But I also want to change the angle that they're sitting at, because they're tilted right now. So I'll have to put soil under one of the sections of the dirt thing, cube, box-ish. And it looks like I'm getting a lot more buds, so that means this year I will get some branches on these, which is exciting. It looks like they don't have that many roots, but there are oak roots here. Well, I mean, okay, so this, maybe I can root prune this. I don't know, I don't want to slow down this at all. This old last year's leaves, the moss comes off nice and easy. I think last I checked there was an acorn still attached to these. Maybe they're done using it now. I'm very cautious. I don't want to, just looking around. I do not see that many roots. I don't want to damage any roots either. I definitely feel roots. I do not see any roots. I mean, that are large enough to look like oak roots. Are they further down? Oh, there they are. They're covered in soil. Yeah, but it's not much, you know. I would have seen some actual thick roots, but these are very weak roots. And yeah. But they did grow. They did recover, sort of, from repotting. Not completely, because they didn't like take off. If they did recover, I would have gotten more than just a few leaves. You see, look, that's how many roots grew. It's not that many. So I'm not even going to root prune them. I don't want to root prune them. They're too weak. Well, I don't know, this one. Maybe I can just cut off this very large root that is just taken off. Because that, yeah, it has taken off. So I will cut that, and that will be the only cut I make. Well, I do want to fix the direction of that root. Might want to shorten this one. And that's it. That is all I'll do to the oak seedlings. So I'll plant them back in the same container. I dear hope they come back just fine. Because I want my red oaks to stay alive. They get very nice fall colors. I'll put some new soil in it. I'll put the old soil back when I'm done with it. You can see the leaves are starting to come out on the larger one. I need to put a layer of soil at the bottom first. Now I need to make sure that they're completely vertical, so they are right now. There's the red oaks here. I don't know if the video was paused or not at the time, but yeah, here. So yeah, but now I need to move on to the next one. I need to make sure I press that button. So here is another, okay, all right, so here's another one, another red oak. And then there's this strange plant here. The soil is a bit dry. There's a seed, so this has not been repotted yet. I'll discard that soil. So I can, but I want this oak, I want to see how much this oak grows. Instead of doing just the dramatic root pruning that kind of slows down my trees. Because it's good to slowly improve the flaws instead of just trying to quickly get the roots established and radial. It got to take time. I wasn't patient enough. I wanted my roots to be perfect, so I just root pruned them a bit too hard. But now I'm a bit more patient. I understand that, I mean, while you have to be confident, like I was being too much of early in 2024, you gotta also moderate yourself when you get too confident. And yeah, So that's the lesson I learned. And my cat has a lizard. There's no doors open. There are no doors open. So I'll rinse this off in the bird bath when I'm done with this. Okay, so now, alright, here, I'll cut the taproots of these in half. It's okay, it's very dry, this soil. And I mean, maybe not, we need to do root pruning, washing. And just prune the tips of these. And that is good. So those two, I'll put in the shade so they do not dry out. I'll put the moss over it as well. Now, this. Is this little root. I'm gonna do a very, very mild cut. I'm not gonna rinse it, actually. There. Oh God. Took off a bit of roots. It'd be fine. God damn it. It didn't pause. Okay. Alright. Just making sure. Okay. I don't need these. And I'll put the moss back on here. It was very nice moss. So the grass is starting to fade. It's getting dry overall. But you know, I usually thought it starts in May, and then it gets. Well, I used to think that May was the greenest time of the year. It's actually April. Late April is the greenest time of the year. Mid to late April. But not too early, because because all the trees, before all the trees leaf out. Yeah. So, well, there might be more. The phone is very, very hot. I need to keep it in the shade. I don't know. I could do this. I'll have to let it recover before full-on repotting it, but I guess for now, for the meantime, I think I can. I might be able to just kind of partially repot it. Yeah. So, I will do that. But this pot is in this pot has, it's a convex curve, so it's curved in like that, which is usually good for succulents because it keeps them from falling over. But this, I'll have to loosen up the edges of the pot and go around, because this tree is stuck in here. I can't just pull it out. I might end up entirely regrowing the tree from these sprouts that are coming out of the roots. Because the root base is so neglected and horrible. If I do any operations on the root system, the tree is not going to recover very well. I do want this soil. This is very nice soil. Oh yeah, it needs repotting. It needed it anyway. It probably hasn't been repotted in a while. It was just in someone's house. I mean, this was their only tree. It probably didn't have much experience. But at least I can start the root work. Now I'll be able to tell if this aerial root, in quotes, has its own roots. It probably does. And if it does, I can cut it off and start a tree with it because it has sprouts coming out of it. And I don't know how that happened. There's lots of organic matter in the soil as well. These roots are kind of fleshy and large. I mean, it has been pruned before, but I don't know. It just not with much knowledge of what is to be done. The meticulousness of root pruning bonsai. Yeah, the root system, aside from just like cutting it off at the bottom, has been completely neglected. There's some sphagnum. I'm gonna dip this in the water really quick so that it doesn't dehydrate. I could save the pot for either, I don't know. It's a bit too large for a succulent. A jade, jade plants kind of need a smaller pot, in a round pot. So I mean, I'll do as much root pruning as I can without killing or slowing down the tree. There's a lot of pom-pom roots with nothing else coming up, like sprouting out in the roots, aside from at the cut point. There are some roots at the bottom on the underside of the roots, so I could cut there, and I will. A big root pruning operation. Yeah. I want to keep more roots on the part that has the shoot coming off of it, because that could become the tree and the rest might get discarded. Let's see how much. Oh, it just broke off. Huh. So I think this, how did it break off? It was barely attached. Well, I'll put this in a pot. I think this is gonna survive. I might let this one grow unrestricted for a few years, just to let it like recover. But I gotta find a pot for it. Yeah. Is there an invasive plant or an extra thing I don't need? Probably. Yeah. But I'll let you know when I found one. I found one. It's quite large. I don't know. There's another root here. It's also quite weak. I'll separate that one as well and see how that one goes. It's barely, oh, that one also put there. Then nothing else sprouting. I don't know what to do with this thing. It's pretty much gonna, if I cut this part off, it's gonna take 10 years to recover. And even then, by that point, well, it's gonna take 10 years for that wound to heal. And besides, the tree is not gonna look very natural because they'll have these, like, look at it, like the trunk is covered in these wounds. I certainly don't want to keep this part. And I don't want to throw it away. So I could just keep it as a garden tree somewhere. And I can probably plant it in a pot or something just to grow out. I planted it in one of the barrels. But now I can plant these. I think I should find a smaller container for these. Okay. This one. I planted some oak seeds. Oh, there's a bottle tree seedling starting to sprout. Oh God. I should probably move it. Alright. So, I have finished kind of slip potting with a bit of root pruning, not much root pruning, and just to kind of keep my weaker plants under control, in check, so that during the years I don't repot them completely. They don't take off. Oh, the roots. I want the top to take off, and long extensions. I just still want to let them recover. So, yeah, and that is all. Thanks for joining me here among the watch poplars.